Welcome, fantastic. Thanks everyone for coming. This is now the 14th iteration of the co-founder speed dating and pitching events. Just to run through the agenda, rather than run you through the different options are there. You can see what they are. Some initial housekeeping. We'd love for you to talk to us on Twitter. Okay, so you've got our handle there, at HipHackHus, and if you were to tweet at Campus London, it'll appear on the screen on your left-hand side, providing there's no extreme profanity in it. If you are looking to access the Wi-Fi, as ever, it's a Wi-Fi network which is Campus Guest. There shouldn't be a password for you to get on there. If you've not seen the new site as well before, please do go and have a look. So you can either type it all in or h-h-h.co. That's our new site. Now, it's really important if we could get some of your feedback. So things that you like, things that you don't like, things that just seem ridiculous. If you could give us some feedback over Twitter, through the site, whatever it may be, we'd really, really appreciate it. And also as well, Rob's mentioned if anyone finds any particularly huge bugs that we need to get ironed out, we'll be giving away a couple of prizes to kind of induce that. If you've not seen about the new chapters, we've recently launched a new chapter in Birmingham and in Manchester, so we're going to be running the same events over there. We are going to be looking for some really interesting kind of startups, small businesses that want to come and be able to speak at our events in Manchester and Birmingham. So if you're interested in that, come in and find yourself a new market over in Manchester and Birmingham. Give me a shout after this and we can talk. And we'll just go through our sponsors very quickly. So the lead sponsor is Elance, who have provided us with a £300 worth of vouchers for this evening. Microsoft have been able to provide us with 3 amazing phones. Waterfront Solicitors, as always, are kind of one of our sponsors that joined us a few months ago, so that's fantastic. And Code Mentor as well are brand new this week, and they've got a voucher for their service that you can find through our meetup group. But if you can't find the link for that, once again, come and let me know. I'll give you a bit of help. Okay, the keynote speaker for this evening, we've got John Willshire from the Smithery and Artefact Cards. Can I just ask as well, did everybody get a couple of cards on the way in? Could you just hold them up and show me? We just want to make sure that everybody's got a set of cards. Is anybody without cards, most importantly? Anybody's without cards? Okay, the guys from Artefact will actually see on the way in. So John's going to talk to you about flow engines and really kind of productivity hacking the way that we work. So if we could have John, please. Hello? Oh, kind of alive. Hi, my name's John. I run Smithery. So that is innovation consultancy. We help companies and make things people want rather than making people want things. So it's just a balance thing. So yes, you've got to do the latter, but it's a good idea to really think about how you do the former first. And we do that for lots of companies. But what I'm here to talk about tonight is a product that we made by accident. So we just made something to solve a problem in one specific area, and then we thought, oh, this is a thing, and then started using it for other things, and suddenly before we knew it, we have a second business. So these things are artifact cards. You've all got a pen and some cards, and you can see the packs at the back. And they come from a place of hatred. Ooh, hatred isn't popular. Hatred of that really transitory, disposable post-it note culture of running workshops where people always go sort of like, I know what this game is, you're going to give me a stack of post-it notes that high, and I'm just going to scribble some stuff on it, and then sort of like we'll keep going through until I come up with the answer that you want. What we became more interested in was sort of like 2 slight design shifts. In one, giving people a weightier pen. So just shifting out of biro and into a permanent marker means you wield it with intent. And the other thing was about a shift in paper design, so into something that was more like a playing card. Just so that the thing that you will find yourself creating is permanent, tangible, with intent, something you mean. And it also means that you can start sliding around and finding new context. The other place it comes from is that guy. Sorry, Microsoft, but he's not in it anymore, so that's fine. But this guy, but then again, not really this guy, but more of what he stands for. It's that idea of... Oh, sorry, somebody wants a picture of Clippy. Do you want... No, there you go. It's just more what he stands for. It's that sort of like design on computer. So computer programs want you to come up with the perfect order straight away. It's sort of like, it's how they are built. They want you to do things in linear fashion. But that's not how ideas live.
That's not what ideas do. Ideas sort of like flow and they ebb and they move in all sorts of different ways in different directions. So the cards help you do that. So that's where it came from. We then thought, let's make a thing. Cue montage. So imagine sort of like montage of making things and sort of like mild jeopardy and running along and skipping in beaches and so on and so forth. End of montage. So we get to Artefact Cards. It's about playing with ideas. It's about that space between the post-it note and the playing card, using the inherent playability to keep your ideas active and to keep coming up with new connections between them to fully understand them. So, and it's worked pretty well. So we've just run it as kind of like a back of the shed business so far, but we've just kind of suddenly gone, oh, it's actually a thing. So we're going to sort of like turn it into a proper thing. So this is kind of like the first real experience we have of sort of like putting it in front of lots of people at a time, which is kind of interesting. So we're seeing how that goes. So come and talk to us about it afterwards. The point is, I've stopped really thinking about do they work so much and thinking about why they work. So what is the thing inside the method? Because it is clearly taken in lots of different fields in lots of different ways. So what's at play there? Park that. That's section 1, act 1. Then I started thinking about something completely different for Smithery, and it was about this. It was, does anybody read any Stuart Brand? So Clock of the Long Now, one person. One person? Oh, you've read the other one. How Buildings Learn. Well, interestingly, in both books, he uses this metaphor of layers. And so layers that move at different speeds, and how you have slow things and fast things. And how the different speed layers must respect each other in order to get anything done. And it became apparent sort of in a lot of the work we do with the innovation stuff, it is about those layers, but thinking about it not just the people stuff, so not just organisational culture or method or process, but also about space, about the space in which people work. And so that's led us into the new direction of thinking about flow and thinking about sort of how do you use the space in which people work to change the work that they do. So this can be really, really small things. So taking inspiration from Austin Kleon's separate desks. You have analog desks and digital desks. So you create on the analog desk. So it's just pens, papers, cards, scissors, whatever you like. You get the distractions out of the way and you just create in physical space. But then you move the final creations onto digital where you edit and publish and refine and send. So that's the really, really small scale in close stuff. But also we also do something called Walkshop. So Walkshop is about sort of like how do you take people on a journey through a landscape to use the landscape as part of the way to influence the thinking. So the small things and big things. But it comes down to this. By changing the space we work in, can we change the rate we work at? Which, for someone who sort of like comes from a service background and is going into a product background, is a really important question. So we've been thinking about it in terms of this. Does everyone know D equals R times T? Or D equals S times T? So it's a thing you learn at school. Distance, how far we'll get, is determined by rate, how quickly we go, and time, how long we've got. And usually, if you're in a service-based industry, you're always thinking about time. You're always thinking about how many days this is going to take. We know how quickly we work. It's just going to sort of how can we get you to pay for more time, pay more days, and so on. But actually, if you can change that, if you can change rate, suddenly time becomes immaterial. So we've been looking at flow and creating what we call flow engines with the cards. So just gently changing the space in which people work to allow them to do really powerful things more quickly. So, I can never say his name. He's the Hungarian psychologist who came up with the concept of time. But I'm going to try, so I apologise for any Hungarians in the room. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Yes, thanks. But he's talking about this, so flow is the thing that makes that sense of time disappear. Suddenly you are working on something, and in a way in which suddenly you look up and 4 hours have gone. And you don't know how, but you've made phenomenal progress. It'd be really good if we can engineer situations for that in our everyday working lives in which that happens more regularly for us and the teams that we work in. So there's 3 simple ways that we've been looking into this flow engine of how to design them. So it's about starting, exploring, and making. So the starting well point is really important. We do it so seldom. It's about setting yourself a task at the beginning and having it in a space that you continually refer to it. It's basically, what have I got to do and what happens if I don't? Very clear, very simple articulation. And what you're aiming for is this channel. So between boredom If you've got the skills, but but you don't have the challenges, and anxiety, where the challenges are high and low skill, you're looking to aim in the middle of that channel so that everyone snaps to attention. You know what you've got to do, and it's just at the outer limit of your grasp. The second thing, so that's starting. Exploring is about creating this rich environment for people to take that task into. Suddenly you've got a clear idea of what you've got to do, and you know that you've got to be looking for things. So by exploring, by having this physical sense of territory around, you can look for new things. It can be pure novelty, so stuff that people haven't seen before. It can be complexity, by surfacing all of the different elements which are interrelated and not a simple one metric that everyone looks at, so that you let people live within the complexity and make the different connections for themselves. Or it can be unpredictability. You have no idea how happy I was to find a picture of the Spanish Inquisition in Lego online. That was unpredictable. But it's all about creating this wide physical environment of stuff for people to use their peripheral vision. If there's one difference between working in physical space and working in digital, it's digital has no peripheral vision. It is laser focused at what's on the screen. All of the other stuff by design is behind. It's in other places, etc. But the way that creativity works is sort of like you take this thing over here and this thing over here and go, oh, these two might go together. And introducing ways into working of doing that more readily means we are more likely to come up with these creative connections. And then the third thing is about making. So the making thing is about how do you make 10 fingers, 2 eyes and a brain pay attention. Suddenly just give people real focus on the thing that they're doing. And it turns out if you make a small slippy card with a dangerous permanent marker, people really pay attention because they don't want to get it on their nice clothes or desks or anything else. And it's also this, it relates to this idea of constructionism, learn by making, which was, does anybody remember this? Of the developers in the logo. So this was Pappet's thing. Sort of like the point is that you weren't teaching children to code using this. The point was that you were sort of like, you were getting them to go through the process of making the thing and making the decisions as they went. So they learnt the method and they could apply the method to other things. We all remember it as the thing we used in school for BBC computers. Is it just these 3 simple things? Because it does sound quite simple. It's more about this. It's more about the reinforcement of saying sort of like, yes, it's about starting it and exploring and then making it the part end, but sort of like in the way that you start, put in the exploration, put in the sort of like slants and put in the making and so on. At its very simplest, it's this. Write down the challenge ahead. And think about the challenge ahead and make it more challenging. If you think it's too simple, make it more challenging for yourself. Write it down. Have a place that you put it in the office, put it on your desk and just go, this is the thing that we are working to. If you're working in teams, ask everyone to do this separately and then get them to put it in the middle of the table and talk about the differences between everyone's understanding of the task. Suddenly it becomes clear if you do that at the start, why things might be more difficult on the way through. The second thing is explore the corners of the territory. Don't go for the most predictable thing that everyone knows is true. Ask people to go and find something as far away in this territory as they possibly can. And then the third thing is compress it to a 3-card idea. What are the 3 key things? Make the version that you can do in an elevator. So that's the flow engine at its very simplest. What we thought we'd do today is try and make the biggest one ever. We're going to play a game called 1 Year of Wonder. Can everyone hold up their cards and pens? So, if I can get a photo, can everyone hold it up higher? Thank you. So, it's amazing what you can do in a year. And it's amazing, so some of you will be have a very good idea of what you want to be doing in a year's time. Some of you will be a bit woolier about it and don't know how to get there. But it's amazing what you can get done. And I bet that all the skills in this room and all the connections and all the people can help everyone else get to that thing. So what I want you to do on the first card is basically, and thank you for Adam for being the fetching Debbie McGee here. What I want you to do is write down the reason on one card and draw a little picture of why you're here today. Why are you here? What are you here for? You may well be wondering that while I talk. But what is it? Why did you come? What were you looking for? What have you come specifically to this event for? And then hold it above your head when you're done. Just lets me know how many people have finished. Higher! Higher! Lower! Higher! Higher! Okay, some people done? Yeah. Right, everyone, high as you can. How many people done? Splendid. Second thing. Second card. I want you to draw where you see yourself in a year's time. Adam sees himself on a beach.
Palm tree, by the way, if anybody was wondering.
It's a good palm tree. We did have a conversation about anyone can draw, didn't we? Yeah.
Claw.
The claw of the palm tree. Draw yourself a picture of where you're going to be in a year's time.
Terrifying.
Hold it above your head when you're done. It's like being at school again, isn't it? I'm really sorry. My mum is a school teacher. Everyone done? Hold it above your head. Okay, so you now have two cards, and what you have is a gap. You have a gap between sort of like why I am here tonight, what I am hoping to learn, and where I want to be in a year's time. It is your job in the networking session to fill that gap. That's what you're here to do. Other people have skills and they have things that they want to do, which will help fill your gap between why you're here tonight and where you see yourself being in a year's time. You're using the sort of like the floor of everyone here with all their different skills to help fill that gap. This is the sort of like, this is the rich environment, a physical space in which you can explore and find the corners and show everyone else your card, because they might have bumped into someone who will help you go from here to here. And then you've got the third card to write things about what you're going to do with it on the way home. So on the way home, just use that third card to write down, I will do this, this, and this. Does that make sense? I'm kind of done here, I think. My final thing is that at the back we have packs of artefact cards for sale if you sort of like use them and can see use for them and want to use them in your work or whatever else. We're doing them, we don't usually sell them singly, but we're doing them tonight for, so just £5 for a single pack or 20 quid for 5. So come and have a play, come and have a look at the packs, but more importantly than that, you know, enjoy the networking, enjoy the Flow engine. I hope it's useful and productive, and we'll be around for a bit. Thank you.